welcome to my first ever product review. I thought a good place for me to start is a product that I've actually had for nearly 5 years, that I've put through the ringer and back and has come out exceptionally well. And the product is the Forma Adventure boot. Now, I bought these coming up 5 years ago. This is the Adventure Terra model. I think they have an updated version out there now, which is the Terra Evo. They come in black and brown. They are Forma is a company that was started in 1999. They're based in Italy. The product is made, it's designed in Italy and it's made in Romania. So what can I say about this product? Well, the reason I bought Forma is John, who I went on my first big adventure trip, the Road, Rocks and Ruins. He'd been wearing Forma for a number of years, thought they were really good. So I thought, well, I'll look into them. And I purchased these. And I have to say, after 25,000 plus kilometers, all types of riding, these have not let me down once. They, I haven't exactly looked after them either. Like, I haven't actually cleaned them once, as in washed them down or anything. They do recommend that you do clean them, and there are some cleaning, components, and there's some good directions and things like that about how to look after them. But I haven't been doing any of that, and they've still performed really well. I haven't broken one buckle. I haven't had any issues with them at all. They come with a little metal bit for better protection on the front, for stubbing it on rocks and things like that, to protect the sole. You have a choice as to whether you put that on or not. I put it on. I'm glad I did, because when you're out riding and you're putting your foot down, probably the first thing that's going to go on some shoes is the sole at the front, and this is a fairly thick sole. Now, what I really like about this boot is that while it's not going to have the protection of your motocross or your hard enduro, the enduro boots, and I do have a Forma Predator, just grab it. This is the boot, which is Forma again, which I purchased probably 2 years after I got these. When I got the Sherco, I got the Forma Predator 2, and these have been fantastic. There's a lot more, they're a lot heavier, these, but they've a lot more protection. Enough about those. I could do another review on those in a few more years. We'll see how they stand up, because I've had them a couple of years. They've been fantastic. Adventure boots have a different job, and that is obviously protection, but when you get to your location, you quite often get off the bike, walk around and really have a good look around. Now these, I snowboard, and I find these to be even more comfortable than snowboarding boots. Yes, they're quite flexible now in and around the ankles, so that's not great for having that protection, but I find when you get off and walk around, brilliant and comfortable. They're made from leather, and you're not going to believe this, but they are actually waterproof. And I have tested this many times. I have ridden all day in the rain and in the snow, walked around in the snow all day. We got home at the end of the day, or back to the location where we were staying, and I take all my gear off to find that my socks were still completely dry. And the other guys that I was riding with, and there was about 20 of us, were like, "What boots are you wearing?" And I was showing them, and they're like, "Man, that is fantastic," because they were all wearing all different types of boots, and pretty much every other person had wet feet, and I didn't. And what I discovered is I have actually stopped my bike in a creek when the DRZ, when the vacuum hoses were, the hoses that come out of the carburetor were basically hanging out the bottom, and they got sort of the suction or whatever they're supposed to do. I'm not a mechanic, but they got blocked and the bike stalled. And I had one foot in the water for, I don't know, probably 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. And when I pulled it up, when I got out and got back in, I noticed that my feet were still fine. My feet did eventually get wet because I had to push my bike out of there, and when I pushed my bike out of there I leant over like that to get some leverage, and water went in the top. Now what I've discovered is that there's this protection that comes up. So as long as this is where the water comes in, up over the top. So essentially you can go into water about that high for a certain amount of time, 10 seconds, and the water just won't get in. That is amazing. That's fantastic. The other thing, I did read the sole. Now, this sole has over 25,000 kilometres of riding with pegs that don't have any rubber part of them. Now look, these still look fantastic. Considering 25,000, I have seen people footage and photos of boots that they've ridden that are wrecked after 2 or 3 rides. Now, I don't know what kind of rubber that these are made out of, but these are doing a great job. There's not a whole lot more I can sort of add, other than I highly recommend these. Forma are not paying me to do this review. I wish I could get some free products, but anyway, the reason I'm reviewing them is to help out other adventure riders that might be just curious about what boot to buy. I've recommended these boots, and a number of my friends have purchased them that were getting into adventure riding, and they are very happy with them. So they met my objectives. They needed to be comfortable, offer a certain amount of protection, which they do, be hard wearing, but easy to walk in when you stop somewhere and you're climbing, hills, and walking over rocks and through creeks, and they do all of that. So couldn't be happier. Hope you got something out of it, and sure this won't be the last review I do.